All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another River Channel broadcast. This is a late recording that I am doing the voiceover on for this game, but I have not watched it. I don't know the score. Excited to see the boys' performance here. And by boys, I mean our hometown Hudson Raiders, who are playing in blue from right to left on your screen, taking on the Henry Sibley, or I'm sorry, not Sibley, Simley with an M, high school from the Minnesota side of the St. Croix River. So this game has just started. It's a home game for the Raiders, and again, the Raiders are in blue, playing from right to left, and Simley, I believe it's the Knights, playing from left to right on your screen in white. And Simley is going to be some tough competition. Historically a good squad. Not one of the biggest schools. Look at that. Nice little cross in there by Simley, but Raiders defense breaks that up nicely. Actually, back in my day, way back when in the 80s, when I played high school soccer in Woodbury, Minnesota, Simley was in our conference, and that was the Twin Cities Suburban Conference, or the Suburban East Conference, I think it was. But so I have a long history with these guys, and hope our Hudson Raiders take it to them in this match. So we're about a minute in. Both teams still sort of feeling each other out, and should be a treat of a game here for everyone. The Raiders are off to a great start this season. They... let's see. They are 3-0 going into this game, so that's pretty exciting. Scoring lots of goals. I know after a season last year of losing a lot of firepower from the seniors, that there was maybe some curiosity as to how this team was going to perform this year, but so far this team is putting up a lot of points, and that's a good sign, keeping that tradition going with Hudson Raiders soccer, and being undefeated so far at this point. Looks like our wins so far to date have been one win against Minneapolis Southwest, one win against Irondale, Minnesota, and a win against Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, is what it looks like to me. And here we go. Good challenge in the middle there. Raiders win it. They carry it up. That's Henry Vandenbark feeding the middle to Calvin Lassard. It's Xavier Island over on the left. Pulled the trigger, but just a hair late. You really got to shoot that ball as soon as it gets to your foot in that situation, or the defense will collapse on you in most cases. But sometimes you do what you got to do too. So no harm in trying to set up a good, solid shot either, because sometimes those do sneak in and make great things happen. Simley gets the clear. Looks like a beautiful night that night in St. Croix River Valley. Raiders work that ball for a throw-in. Looks like a free kick. Must have been a little pushing foul of some sort, maybe offsides. It's the dilemma of recording off of a recorded game, is you don't get to see the whole field and see if the side judge called something or what's going on there. Good pursuit there by Island. Gets it to Lassard. Raiders keeping the pressure on. Ball comes flying up. Raiders continue to control at midfield, looking to find a seam or a good, some good angles to move that ball up the field. Simley on the push. Raiders coming back with numbers on defense, which is key. You can hear the roar of the cars because the Raiders Stadium is right on one of the main roads in town, Vine Street, and traffic is going by all the time, which adds a dimension of excitement for the town when you drive by and see the lights on, and also adds a dimension to the game with a little extra noise and some fun with that too. So Raiders again working it on the sideline. Simley gets a throw in here. This is still pretty early in the season. That throw got away from Simley there. Not sure what exactly happened. I don't know if that... I guess they're going to give him another throw in here. Big throw. Gets away, though, off of Simley, and it's going to be a Raider throw in now. Another throw in. Not sure how that ball went out of bounds, but it did. Simley moves it. Raiders get it out, and it'll be another Simley throw in. So far, we've seen some real balance between these teams. Both seem like they're quite aggressive defensively. They're trying to figure things out offensively still. How do you find the seams and the matchups that are going to make the most opportunity for you? As I mentioned earlier, this broadcast is brought to you by the Hudson River Channel. And proud to say that the River Channel is adding more and more soccer matches every year, it seems like. More away games and things like that. So stay tuned to the River Channel for all your soccer action, boys in the fall and girls in the spring. My name is Jeff Ian. I am the announcer here. I spent many years playing soccer growing up, many years coaching the sport in school ball in Minnesota, where I was a teacher for many years, and then as a traveling coach here in Hudson for my two boys who are now in college. So one still playing soccer intramurally, played a little bit at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Oh, Raiders knocking on the door. They get a slip shot in off the post. It comes out. They get a drilled shot. Just hits the crossbar and goes up and over it versus down and into it. But Raiders adding the first significant scoring opportunity of the match at 7 minutes, 48 seconds. But despite that wonderful opportunity, our score still sits at 0-0. This is my fourth year of announcing boys soccer. Pretty exciting. Getting to see, for the first 3 years, I actually had coached a number of these players until last year's graduating class. And he probably has no remembrance of it, but Owen Netterlow did play up as a youngster on a couple of my teams in winter ball and summer ball. So I got one player on the Raiders roster that I can still say I had a little bit of influence on coaching, but to be honest, not much. But Owen has developed into a fantastic player. He always was tenacious, but his knack for scoring and his aggressiveness and his speed are really fun to watch. The Raiders will be well suited for the future as well, because Owen is a senior, but then another big scoring threat for the Raiders, Calvin Lassard, is a sophomore and already has at least 3 goals on the season. So pretty exciting start for the Raiders. There's Netterlow there, number 10, applying some pressure. It's a big part of Hudson, longtime coach Steve Solom's approach is playing defense all over the field. That's how you keep the ball offensively. Team defense is key as well. And you'll see that where one Raider may attack the ball, try to influence where it's going. The other one comes in and tries to take it away. So two important pieces. Steer that ball away from the goal and try to take it away. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but that's sort of what you're trying to do here. Come the Raiders. They're keeping it moving, and they're finding space. Little off-balance shot there by Vandenbark, and it hits the foot of one of the Simley players and is easily collected by the Simley goalkeeper. We're now over 10 minutes into this match, and we still sit at 0-0 on the scoreboard. Here comes Simley. They've got some... it's a solid left foot, not the best angle, and Raider goalkeeper, I believe that's...
Saved by Lindahl.
That's Tyler Hindall. A nice save. He played the angle well, and that's the thing on... You start getting too wide on those shots, the goalkeeper actually hopes you're shooting it because there's no angle to make a score versus trying to dump it back for your teammates. But more dangerously is Simley's going to have a corner kick here, and they're playing it short. Instead of putting that ball right into the scoring area, they're going to play it short and see if they can work it in. They bring it out. That sometimes is a good strategy. That's an awfully long shot, though. That's about a 27-yard shot. But I think it got away from him a little bit, but Hindall was ready for it. Tough bounce on Island there. It's going to be a throw-in for Simley. Seeing a little spark from both teams now with some decent penetration and scoring opportunities. Raiders with 3 shots on goal and Simley with 1 so far. They don't always have to be power shots to count as shots either, but Raiders had the 2 off the post and the crossbar. There's a nice cross in by Simley. Good defensive play by the Raiders. Couldn't see who that was. They collect it again. They reset. It's a long shot. That's about a 25-yard shot through traffic, but Simley wants to put it. They want to take some shots, I think, and I always said as a coach, if you don't shoot, you're never going to score either. And sometimes that ball gets spinning and bouncing off a shot, and that makes something else interesting happen. So here we go. We got some substitutions. I know one Raider left the field. Can't really tell who's coming in. We might hear it off the PA announcement on the recording. Raiders with the throw. Raiders look for the clear, and they finally get it. Simley also playing hard defense on their offensive front, trying to keep that ball in their scoring half. So this has been a good matchup so far. Skill-wise, speed-wise. This, I have a feeling, is going to be a tight game. But we will see. We're about 13 and a half minutes into the match. As the scoreboard shows, still 0-0. Nice ball movement there by the Raiders to advance it safely. Quinn Johnson on the sideline. Some tough D there. Sends it out off of his own leg. They have a substitution coming here, it looks like, since there's a pause in the match. Big throw by Simley. Good ball by the Raiders. Oh, Lazard just got a little tangled up in his feet. He's going to come out and get it wide. Pulls it back. Nicely played and crossed over. Tough play. Netterlow trying to get there. Just a little too out of reach, but I do like what I saw there with Lazard, that sometimes your first thought is the goalie was out of position a bit. I'm going to try to, even though it's an off angle and a tough shot, I'm going to just put it on goal, but he pulls it back and tries to set his teammates up. That's a big throw for the Raiders. Good head over by Netterlow. Raiders again with a shot off the crossbar. And that's going to be a goal kick for Simley. So Raiders again continuing to put some shots on and just getting denied by the goal itself. It's a good sign, though. It's a good sign. Simley plays it short. They want to try to pass this ball up the field. Keep possession of it that way, which can be a great strategy versus the long kick, which really turns it into what's called a 50-50 ball, that whoever gets under it and wins the bounce and the high ball gets it. So it's not a sure thing that it's going to stay in your possession, because sometimes parents and non-soccer fans will wonder, why don't they just let's kick it up that field as far as we can. There's certainly a time and place for that too, but playing it short keeps it in your possession to potentially move it up the field with no interruption, whereas the long ball takes that opportunity away. Raiders play it. Traditionally, it's in there, but collected by the Simley goalkeeper. That ball was moving, and nice play by the goalkeeper, even though I couldn't see it. I could see that the ball was moving rapidly. Simley again playing it out wide. Moving it up. Trying to send a little through ball through, but that didn't quite get his foot on it, and Raiders defense was playing that tough, and easily collected by Hindall, who's going to send that ball big up the field. Raiders like to do that. They also play it short at times. A little tangling, no foul. Good call by the ref. He's right there, making a good call. Netterlow showing his speed and foot skills there by just going right around several players, but eventually you run into that one guy that often takes it away from you, but he didn't have a whole lot of passing opportunities there either, so sometimes you do what you got to do. Comes Lazard. Really, again, a nice cross by Lazard. He's sending it back, hoping there's a trailer who can actually have like the whole goal there to shoot on. It's a great play. You teach it when you're young, but it can be very tantalizing for players to do other things in that situation, but Lazard plays that nicely. Simley pushes it all the way up the field, but Raiders take it. Again, Simley fights for it back. Nice defense there by, I think that's Jack Poole. Can't see the number. Nice ball up. About 18 and a half minutes into the half. Still 0-0 is our score. If you're enjoying this broadcast, just realize that every Raider home game will be, I won't say every, because there's a small chance there could be something that happens, but the plan really is every home game of the Raiders will be broadcast live. If I am not traveling for work, I'll be there announcing it live, and if I am traveling for work, then I'll record it later, like you'll see here. But you'll still see the game live, so tune in and enjoy the game. And I can tell you, the Raiders also will be, River Channel will be broadcasting a number of away games. Usually, I know I've traveled to New Richmond, River Falls, sometimes Chippewa Falls, and but Eau Claire is tricky because they don't really have a stadium to have a good broadcast from. They play on a kind of a back 40 side field, but But anyway, lots of games. So check the Raiders schedule and check out YouTube and the River Channel channel on YouTube for all those games. And also, I believe they broadcast live to Facebook. So that's exciting too. So keep that in mind if you're enjoying the soccer. And then all the games, if you miss one, you can always watch them later because they'll be sitting there archived in that same channel when you search for Hudson Boys Soccer. A lot of back and forth. Now over 20 minutes, so we are about halfway through the first half with a scoreless match. It's been a strong game, very clean game. These guys are playing good soccer, aggressive soccer, but a very clean game, which is, I love that too. So there's always going to be some bumping and shoving and jostling, but I love when it stays to that. And accidents happen and things like that too, but and fouls are going to happen. Sometimes people get worked up about fouls, but fouls are part of the game. If you're not fouling, you're not playing aggressive enough. But there's certain fouls that we don't like to see. That's a nice through ball. Hindall sniffed it out, though. He's speedy. Got down on it. Nice play. Simley again looking for that, looking for their own little gaps, and they're trying things and seeing what works. Vandenbark, nice collection. Brings it over to Quinn Johnson, who's going to carry it up. Nobody on him. Plays a low ball up the middle. And collected by the Simley goalkeeper. Jack Poole now with the ball in the middle. Gives it out to Quinn Johnson. Gets it over to Nicky Alanoff, one of the team's captains this year. Going to be a throw in here for the Raiders.
Subbing in for the Raiders, Will Cook.
There we go. Will Cook in for the Raiders. Will is a freshman, typically playing midfield. It looks like Will has shown some real sparks in with speed, quickness, and foot skills. So it's great to see him getting more playing time to build on that experience and potential leadership for the future in the Hudson Raider program. Raiders coach Steve Solom has been the coach for many years of the boys team, and until last spring was also coaching the girls varsity because they're in different seasons in Wisconsin. The boys are in the fall and the girls are in the spring, so he was able to do that with great success. Steve recently retired from his teaching gig at Hudson High School as a math teacher, of which I was as well, so happy for him in that retirement. And he also gave up his girls coaching duties to Hudson teacher Erin Gehring, who was one of the JV coaches for many years, and she led a great campaign last spring. But Steve, in retirement, is still coaching the boys here, so that's good for the program and fun for everybody involved. So again, congrats, Steve, on your teaching retirement. Hope you're enjoying some fishing and other activities with your days off and during your winters, I'm sure. And here come the Raiders. Nice passing sequence there. Oh, and a really sneaky through ball. Lassard, I think, didn't actually think that ball might get through there. There were so many legs and feet and bodies in the way. Sometimes you're shocked when it gets to you. Hudson gets a good shot off there, but too many Simley players in between. I keep saying Sibley because there's a Henry Sibley High School near Simley as well, and they also were part of the conference I played in growing up in the old days of soccer in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Big ball up by Simley. Raiders take it. They're resetting here. Ball comes to Vandenbark. Over to Poole, does a little heel flick, but doesn't quite go where he wanted it to. Got to try those from time to time, though, because those are the surprise moves that set some great things up sometimes. So comes Allen off. Nice ball in. Oh, nice turn by Alenoff. Little heel flick turn to himself. Nice play. Raiders sending one through, but no one was on the same page for that one, so it just gets through to the goalkeeper, and that, like many things, happens. Looks like it must have been an offside call. And it looks like we have a Simley player injured in some way, shape, or form. Sorry if you hear that cough. I have a little one of these fall colds hitting me a bit. Looks like the player's walking off under his own power, which is always good to see. And we'll get geared up here. I think there was an offsides penalty anyway. Or the ref ended it because of the injury. Either way, it was in Simley's possession, so the rules of the game are going to let Simley take this ball. It's deep in their territory, so it's not a real dramatic decision or problematic for the Raiders, but it's the right thing too. If you're new to the Hudson soccer scene, this stadium here, I believe, is about 5 years old. My oldest son, the year he was a senior, which was 5 school years ago, they opened the stadium. So it was fun to see him play in that, and fun to see these guys having a really nice place to play soccer. This is a great field, great stadium, good concessions. You'll notice there's no stands on the other side, so this is one of those stadiums where the hometown fans and the visiting fans are all on the same side. But here comes Netterlow. Taking it deep, gets it off. That's going to be a corner kick. Raiders are good on the corner kick. They're historically very solid on corner kick opportunities, and we'll see what happens here. The former stadium used to actually be at a neighborhood elementary school in Hudson, so it's nice to have the high school stadium right on campus. Nice facilities. It serves many teams. Avoids kids having to ride buses or get transported to practice and things like that, as well as just a beautiful complex to enjoy games in. And yes, I am a Hudson resident, so that pride is there. Big ball in. It's a nice ball. It's in a really good spot. I think that was Netterlow trying to get ahead on it. It's good play, though. Simley on the counter now. See, there was an example. Nicky Alenoff was not attacking the ball, but he was forcing that player to one side, to the inside, knowing that he had support, and then his teammate came over and swiped the ball away. Nice play, Raiders, defensively. Isaac McKenzie over there on the right defensive side. Jackson Ouellette in the center there with the ball. So far they're playing a great game, really limiting Simley's opportunities. Ball comes over to Alanoff. Over to Johnson. Raiders have been playing in some different formats this year, so Alanoff has had a chance to play a little more midfield. It's a great little play there. Great little play. I think that's Lassard. Nice little tap move to get around, but again, too many bodies there, but the Raiders do pull the corner kick out. We're approaching the 30th minute, so we're getting down there in the first half, about 10 minutes left, and see if the Raiders can put something on the board here. This is a great opportunity. Will they play it the traditional long ball, or are they going to play it short like they do sometimes? We'll see. Big ball. Went quite long, it looked like. Lots of ball moving in there. Simley gets a header, but they don't send it out. They send it sideways, which can give a coach a little bit of a heart palpitation. Raiders recollect. Raiders starting to take the advantage in time of possession. I'd say they've got a slight advantage at this time. You know, we're about 30 minutes in. I'd say maybe about 17 to 13, 18 to 12 maybe. Still pretty tight. Big ball by Lassard. Nice ball in. Nice left foot. Not sure I've seen that left foot out of Kelvin yet. He played quite a bit last year as a freshman and is now a full-fledged starter for this year's team. Alanoff trying to send it in. Doesn't quite get on that the way he wanted, I think. Good defense by the Raiders, and they're going to send it up again. A little out of the reach of Lassard, and that's going to get out of bounds and be a Simley goal kick. Clock is ticking. Down to about 8.5 minutes in the first half. Hard-fought battle. Our score sits at 0-0.
Back in for the Raiders, Packard.
Quinn Packard back in for the Raiders. Raiders feed the middle to Netterlow. It's Lassard on it. Takes a nice turn. Plays it out wide. Send it in. There's what a play there by the Raiders. I think that was Owen Netterlow on the header attempt. Really gets a good header on that, on goal, but Simley's goalkeeper was right there. So really a nice play by the goalkeeper to be in the right place and to handle that ball well. Simley playing a little more long ball now. Sometimes that's strategic. Sometimes that's a little frustration that you're not able to move the ball up. But they pull a foul here in some capacity. And this is a dangerous little spot. This is about the 19-yard line. So it's about 29 yards out. But you can put a nice little chip on and have a scrum go after it, or you can take a long drill shot here. We'll see what they do. Going for the shot. It's a nice shot. that's a tough trajectory from that distance to get over the wall and not have it sail. And he did pretty good. He didn't sail it at all. He put it right over the crossbar. So that's a pretty good shot. Pretty good shot. But nonetheless, not a goal. Raiders with the goal kick. So it's been a quick half with no scoring, no serious injuries, no yellow cards, not a lot of penalties, and the time flies when that all happens. Knock on wood, we keep it going because maybe see some Raiders goals, of course. Wouldn't mind some stoppages for that, but always great if there's no injuries or a lot of serious fouls. So Hindall sends it up. Simley sends it back. Allenoff brings it back to Hindall. Gets a little bit touchy there, but Hindall wins it. Allenoff cleans it up, and the Raiders are now advancing. Down to about 5.5 minutes in the half. Quick clear by Simley. Raiders able to knock that 50-50 ball back down the field. Good turn. Very aggressive defense there, but no foul. Big ball in. Wide, though, and that'll be a goal kick for Simley with just under 5 minutes to play in the first half. And our score is still 0-0. Good challenge in the middle. Going straight up. No foul. The real time you hit fouls on that is if you're grabbing, if you're undercutting when they're in the air, which causes them to fall helplessly and dangerously. But when you both go straight up, and there's going to be some bumping along the way, but that's all part of the game. Actually had the amazing experience last week. Here comes the ball in the middle. Simley applying some pressure, but the Raiders able to get it out. If you want to talk about physical soccer, I actually was in Europe for a vacation in the Netherlands and got to watch the Netherlands men's national team take on the German men's national team in their the league play they have there between international teams, and had great seats, and it was so physical and fun to watch. So it's definitely part of the game to have collisions and bumping and shoving and grabbing and all that good stuff. So 37 minutes, 3 minutes left in the half. Score still stands at 0-0. Simley putting together a little more offense here in the last few minutes, or at least more control of the ball. Somebody's subbing with about 3 minutes left. Some Simley players coming on and off. Not sure if you have any Raiders doing so. Good takeaway there by Quinn Packard. Simley again trying to sneak. There's a nice play. They're setting him up, but too much defense. It's a nice chip ball. Raiders are going to head that out. Simley keeps it in. We're down to 2 minutes. Set it up. Wow. Great save. Great play by the Raiders. Hindall there. Simley gonna be wishing they had that one back.
Saved by Lindahl.
That's the sweet spot. You want that ball where you basically have the whole frame straight in front of you because you can put it anywhere. But Hindall made a nice diving save, so it was a good shot and a better save. And it keeps the score at 0-0, but a corner kick now for Simley. So on top of that great play, now they're going to get to keep the pressure on. Raiders D has got to be strong. Not a bad corner. Again, not a high-powered shot, but that's the one that can sneak through at times. Simley getting some action here at the very end of the half. We're now down to 1 minute. Score is 0-0. I would bet it will stay that way, but man, after just what happened, who knows? Hindall plays it short to Alanoff. Plays a long, low pass up to Packard. Poole with the ball in the middle. About 30 seconds left in the half. $20 seconds.
Ten, 9, 8.
There we go.
7.
We will see you back shortly, folks, for the second half of this broadcast.
2, 1.
All right, here we go, folks. That was a great first half, and we're going to begin the second 40 minutes. Same score as when we started the game 40 minutes ago, 0-0. Healthy, balanced game of
Goal for the Raiders, Parker Strumke.
between these two teams. Raiders have put their junior goalkeeper into the match, Parker Strumke. Tyler Hindall definitely have kept the Raiders where they wanted to be with a spectacular save at the end of the first half. Simley really had the scoring opportunity you dream of, but and had a nice shot, but Hindall made a nice save. So, teams have switched sides. Your hometown Hudson Raiders in blue are now playing from left to right on your screen, and the visiting Simley, I believe it's the Knights, are playing from right to left and are in white. You can see the sun has gone down. The lights are on at Raiders Stadium. Temperatures have probably cooled a bit. Been a great matchup between these teams. Good opportunities by both. Strong defense, good ball movement. So it's been a really good, it's a good challenge for the Raiders. They need games like this. It's a luxury for Hudson because a lot of the state of Wisconsin, you know, when you get to playoffs, are in the bigger cities of Wisconsin on the east part of the state. So your Milwaukee's, your Madison's, your Appletons, in those general areas have a lot of big school soccer. Out here, the biggest school the Raiders typically play is in conference is Eau Claire. And the rest of the schools are quite a bit smaller. So they often have great programs, though. So nothing against them, but it does help the Raiders to have the Minneapolis-St. Paul soccer community within 20 miles, and Solom does a great job of setting up matches to push his players as well. This is a match in my experiences, I've been a fan and a parent and an announcer. Whoa, wow. Good attacking there by Simley, but the Raiders keep it out, and that ball goes wide. Kind of looked a little more serious than it was after I saw that where the ball went out. But Strumke with the kick. It's a good non-conference game here. The Raiders also played Irondale High School earlier this season, won that match 7-1. Although it was a better game than the score indicated, and then they did beat Minneapolis Southwest 3-2. So 3 big matches with some quality Minnesota schools, and that's always good for the Raiders, and to be playing some new teams too. Because I don't. Minneapolis Southwest, I know they've played a few times in a quad with Stillwater, but Irondale and Simley, these are some new matches, and that's fun. It's fun for those of us that now are part of the team long term to play some different teams too. Must not have our usual ball collectors this night at Raider Stadium, because usually we have a contingent of 6 to 10 young people surrounding the field, usually from youth soccer programs in the area, collecting those balls and keeping the play going. But sometimes those plans just fall through, and the boys got to chase it down like in the old days. Big throw. Head over by Simley, not the clear they wanted, but then they get it. Jack Poole settles it, plays it in. I think Netterlow thought maybe he was offside, but nothing was called, and the ball sneaks through, and then the Raiders get a challenge and play it off the goalkeeper, and we'll have a corner kick here. So a good opportunity there. I know Netterlow is he probably frustrated he couldn't get his feet on that ball, and I think maybe he thought he was offside based on his reaction, but here come the Raiders. About 5 minutes into the second half. A little deception there with 2 people, but going for the big kick anyway, but that ball's a little tight to the end line and collected by the goalkeeper. Soren Matson gets upended and a foul, and the Raiders will get a free kick. Referee is backing him off. They got to give about 10 yards. And that was a little bit of an aggressive foul, but it happens, and people get a little heated. Looks like everything's good. Small wall by Simley, and goalkeeper set up. Raiders sneak it through. Playing a low, bouncy ball, not quite the velocity he wanted on that shot, and that's collected by the goalkeeper for Simley. I apologize, I do not have a roster for Simley here, so I can't really share much information about their team. Good challenge by the Raiders. McKenzie with a nice take and advancement of the ball. McKenzie on the chase down. Raiders defense comes to the aid. They help each other out. McKenzie stayed on him and kept him off balance, and then the Raiders teammates. Whew! Lots of headers off the crossbar. Still in play. Simley again sends that ball a little bit out, and Simley sends that ball out. Simley knocking on the door quite a bit this match, so really balanced. I'm not sure if those shots on goal are accurate or not. I think they're missing at least one on Simley's side, but just a well-balanced match. Simley so far coming out of the gates here, putting some pressure on. They have very nice ball movement, and I don't see anybody standing out as kind of their go-to, which, you know, it's great to have a go-to player, but it's also great if you just keep that ball distributed among everybody, and then you can make anything happen. The Raiders are a lot like that too. A lot of scorers on this team, whether they score a lot or not, but that keeps the other team guessing. We're now about 8 minutes into the second half of a 0-0 match. McKenzie with the throw into Vandenberg. Another one of the team's captains. Gets it to Poole. Sends a little chip out to the sideline. Good clear by the Raiders there. Now 10 minutes into, well, almost 9 minutes into the second half. I believe after this game, the Raiders will move into some serious conference play. And they'll probably have a couple quad weekend tournaments where they'll play some teams from the Milwaukee, Madison general areas, maybe Wausau areas. But they'll be hardcore into, and there's Strumke with a nice take. It's a good ball by Simley, but a little low. Those are really tough to do much with when they're screaming in about shoulder level height. Good ball. Quinn Packard sends it up to Netterlow. Cleared out by Simley. Raiders let a throw in, it looks like. Looks like Soren Matson with the throw. Good throw in. No Raiders in the vicinity, though, so Simley gets a clear. Raiders pick up the straggling ball, though, and send it in. Could be a goal kick or maybe an offside on the Raiders. This is a game that if it ends tied will just be a tie. I bring that up because I'm hoping for some goals by our Raiders, and I don't mind being wrong in that situation. But in high school soccer, games do end as a tie unless they are part of a tournament or the playoffs for these boys. So. Simley gets it out wide. Working it up. Ball goes off of Quinn Johnson over there. Big throw in. Nifty little pass there by Simley in traffic, but too much Raider defense in the way there. Ball comes in. Big clear by the Raiders. Raiders still looking to get some offense going in this half. Simley again applying pressure. They got it deep into Raider territory, giving the defense a workout tonight. Big left-footed shot, takes a weird bounce. Luckily it goes wide. Simley High School, for those of you that are interested, is in the Invergrove Heights area, which is
Back in for the Raiders. Island.
South of St. Paul and south of South St. Paul, actually, even further down Highway 52 if you're driving down to Rochester. And has had a long history of strong sports at Simley. And here we see a good soccer team here. So this Raider team is a high quality team, and for Simley to be holding at 0-0 means this team's one to reckon with in their conference play this year as well. Good clear by the Raiders. Matson collects it. Looks like he took a little shot to the cheek maybe, but rubs it off as he's running. Again, they're applying pressure. Not sure if that was a through ball. It's a little aggressive for a through ball. I think that was a miss-hit shot by Simley. The saving grace for the Raiders, Simley tends to take a lot of long shots versus working it one step further potentially. But you got to try everything. I understand that, so I'm not gonna judge them. But long shots are tough.
For the Raiders, Morales and Olsen.
All right, in for the Raiders, we got Sam Olsen, a sophomore midfielder, and sounds like Giovanni Morales, a junior midfielder, in now. So the Raiders playing a wide variety of players today. Coach Solom does that. Definitely does it in the early part of the season to see combinations, see what people do and don't do. But Coach Solom also tends to play a lot of players throughout the season. I think it helps with injuries. It helps with learning. Best coaching happens when something happens on the field and you talk to the players when they come off the field. Game moves too fast to process things on the field real well. So Andy likes to grow his young players so they're ready to be leaders when they are older players. A little over-aggressive defense by Simley there, and the Raiders will have a free kick here at their own 30-yard line, if we're talking football speech here, American football. And 56 minutes into the match, so we're about 24 minutes left. And our score is still 0-0. If you watch this Hudson Raider team, you're not used to 0-0 games or 0 next to Hudson at this stage of the game. So definitely a fun one. Manson goes in, no foul. That was straight up good play. Somebody's subbing. Unlike a lot of sports, in soccer, the clock continues to run during substitutions and things like that. Ball gets out wide. Again, Simley kind of dominating this second half in the time of possession game. Does look like there's some wind to their advantage. Maybe the Raiders had that wind in the first half. I didn't really get a good look at the flags in the first half on this recording, but it does look like a stiff breeze in Simley's favor. That definitely is a big part of it. Throw in here for the Raiders. Good ball up. And Vandenberg with a nice taking possession and bringing it back, slowing it down a hair. It's good. Olette sends it over to his teammate on the side. Lots of time. No one needs to be too worked up because there's a lot of time in this game. 22 minutes left. Sam Olsen down there fighting it out, but Simley's defense tough. Slide play there by Jack Poole, but Simley comes up with it, and a little miscommunication, and That's some hardcore hustle out of Simley player number 18 there. Single-handedly, I don't know how he did it. It was a heck of a little run there by him to keep it alive. Now they're countering. They've set up. Raiders defense is back and set though, and that's going to be tough to penetrate. Sends it up. Matson. Vandenberg going deep. All right, we're moving into the 60th minute. We're almost there. A couple subs for the Raiders.
Back in for the Raiders, Lassard and Johnson.
All right, I think Coach Sullivan might be noticing a little bit of turn in the momentum and gets Lassard in there to see if he can add to that momentum offensively. I'll be honest, growing up, Simley did not have a strong soccer program back in my day. Now, that was an awfully long time ago, and I haven't really followed them, but it's really great to see the quality of this team right now, and I probably had my stereotype going into this match, but this is a pretty good squad we're watching here take on our Raiders. Ball's moving around. Lassard's got it. He sets up. Jack Poole gets a left-footed shot. Not the shot Jack wanted, but he took it. It's what you got to do. Even if your left foot is not your preferred foot, if it's got an open shot like that, you got to take it. So I always like seeing that instead of guys that pull it back and just know the defense is going to take it from them. So I like seeing that. I like him taking that chance. So Jack Poole, by the way, is a junior for the Raiders, so he'll be another returning player for next year. This team seems to reload every year, and Jack will be a big part of that next year for sure. Throw in here for Simley. All right, Raiders again trying to get it out of their half and make something happen offensively. They send a deep ball up. Yeah, a little too pushy there. This is the kind of situation where teams can start to get a little bit frustrated that they haven't scored or haven't gotten the opportunities they wanted, but not an egregious foul, but a foul. Definitely worthy of the call. And Simley sends about as deep a ball as he possibly can, and the Raiders' defense ejects it, but looks like Simley's got it back in the midfield. Lassard fighting for that ball everywhere in the field. I love it. Quick throw to Morales. Little through ball, but a little out of the reach. 63 minutes into the match. We are down to 17 minutes at a score of 0-0. If you are, for some reason, tuning in right now, it's the Hudson Raiders, the hometown team in blue, playing from left to right on your screen, and the visiting Simley, I think it's Knights. Let me see here. I feel bad. I should have had that figured out, but sometimes life gets in the way of things. Spartans, not the Knights. My total bad, Simley. Should have remembered that from the old days. The Simley Spartans. Foul there. Raiders got to watch it. You can't get pushy on that stuff. Got to watch it. Game's too close to get into that. Let the ref deal with it. Simley is showing they're going to stand on the ball on these plays to delay things so that their team can get back. Looks like Alanoff taking this ball. It's a nice ball. It lands right where they want it. They get a shot, but a little too much defense on it. Nice play by the Raiders. They needed that to maybe get their juices going again. We're now at 65 minutes, folks. 15 minutes left. Again, this broadcast is brought to you by the Hudson River Channel. Tune in. Hudson River Channel has a... They share all the Hudson sports for the most part, and a lot of community events too. If you're a Hudson resident or you were and you want to keep up on things, River Channel is the place to be. Raiders with a throw-in now. Substitution coming.
Back in for the Raiders, Packard and Netterlow.
All right, Raiders have their high-scoring squad on the field. Quick turn there. Gets by. A lot of defense for Simley there. Alanoff sends that ball in high. We're down to about 14 minutes, so you're going to see these teams, you're going to see a little extra aggressiveness. You're going to see the desperation of trying to get something on the board here. You got to balance that, though, in this case, with not haphazardly giving something up either, because Simley has shown they're a good team. I think they got away with a little trip, and there it is. There's a goal for the Raiders. That ball snuck through. It looked like a trip on Simley, tripping a Raider, but it wasn't called. No one really cared, but snuck through, and Owen Netterlow buries that goal at the 66 minute and 22nd mark, and the Raiders finally draw first blood here, and we'll see if it'll be enough or if they can add to it. Simley has definitely shown that they will make a challenge here. They're not going to give up, I can guarantee you that. Not a one-goal game with 15 minutes left, or I guess it's about 13 and a half. It was a great goal, though. It's one of those where the ball sneaks through and Netterlow was pursuing. That's what he does. He really likes to grind those goals out and chase them down. He's had a lot of plays like that even just in this early season. Based on crowd reaction, sometimes parents and fans get a little worked up about those slide tackles, but slide tackles are completely legal if you get the ball. If you get the ball first and the guy trips over your legs after you get the ball, that's just how it goes. All the players know it. That's why you don't see players get too worked up about if they fall over on those plays, but now if they don't get the ball first or get the ball at all, then it can likely be a tripping foul. And if it's done egregiously, then it could be a cardable offense too. Especially if it's from behind. The behind slide tackles are very touchy and dangerous, so you don't see players do it too often. Ouellette with the clear. Ball gets up. Netterlow and Lassard. We got some room. Lassard's feet get tangled and loses that ball. We're now down to 12 minutes in the half, folks, or in the match, actually. Raiders with the 1-0 lead. Big ball up. Simley's goalkeeper nicely comes out and makes the play. He's had a nice game. Hasn't had to make too many, extravagant saves, but he's played a solid match against the Raiders here. That last goal, not a lot he can do about it. He was playing the ball where it was correctly, but the defense, it just got through the defense, and not much you can do when that happens. But here's a trip from behind. Not in the box. Very close. About a yard out from the box. Otherwise, we would have had a PK. But Lassard takes that, and the Raiders are going to have a scoring opportunity here. Does look like a yellow card was given. Kind of like I said, you don't... Plays from behind are dangerous, and...
Yellow card.
That's where we often see players getting hurt in all levels of soccer. And so the card is issued. That one was not as egregious as I've seen in all my years of soccer, but it certainly was worthy of a penalty and a card. So good job, ref. And we are now just approaching, I guess there was the clock stopped there at 69 minutes. Ref will blow the whistle to start the clock. What the Raiders will do here is anybody's secret. There could be a little pass over. It could be a shot. It was a shot. Not a bad shot. Got a solid foot on it, but that ball just kept rising and got over the goal. So
Back in for the Raiders, McKenzie.
Isaiah McKenzie back in for the Raiders. We're now getting down to where we might see Simley take some chances, push up some more players offensively, possibly. When you get 10 minutes left and you need a goal, you kind of do what you got to do. You don't care if you end up losing by 2 because you got to get the 1, but we'll see what they decide to do. Clock is ticking. I think they didn't wait for the referee to signal that they could play. Oh, resetting the clock, I think. There we go. Added some time to the clock, actually, so now we're under 9 minutes in the match. We'll see if the Raiders can hold on to this lead and start this season 4-0. Knock on wood. I'm not... going to count any chickens before they're hatched, but the Raiders are looking solid here with the lead and just under 9 minutes, just over 9 minutes left. McKenzie playing some tough D. Raiders double teaming there. Fluky little bounce. Vandenberg sends the ball off Simley, and that's going to be a Raiders throw. Gets it into might be Morales. Sends it wide. Raiders looking to see if maybe they can add one more here and give a little breathing room in these last few minutes. Quick turn by Quinn Packard, but the defense is there, and the Raiders are going to get a corner kick out of this now with about 8.5 minutes left. Would love to see the Raiders tack one more on at least here. But the way it's looked tonight, one goal is...
Raiders, Matson.
We're very happy with one goal. Soren Matson back in the match, it sounds like. Little deception there. Good old ball. That's bouncing. That's right where the Raiders would like it. But depending which way you're facing and where that ball is spinning, it's always tough. Oh, Raiders take a big ball there and send it high and wide. Down to about 8 minutes. High school soccer in Wisconsin and pretty much everywhere, there's no extra time like you see in college and professional soccer, where the referee is keeping track of, injuries and fouls and dramatic things that you see in professional soccer. And then the head referee has the judgment to add some time at the end of the match. But in high school soccer, it is 40 minutes in the first half, 40 minutes in the second half, and that is it. There's no added time. So the referees can stop the clock if they think a team is just kicking it as far as possible out of bounds to kill the clock. They also can control substitutions so that teams aren't wearing the clock down that way purposefully to keep some sportsmanship in the game. Little ball there. Raiders continuing to keep the pressure on here in the last 10 minutes. Simley sending it up as quickly as they can. They know where that clock is at, and they want to try to get something, but they seem to have lost a little bit of the edge they had to the Raiders after that goal. Like the air came out of their sails a bit. We haven't seen them do much offensively since then. Big clear by Allenoff. Simley still trying. Errant ball there. McKenzie picks it up and carries it up. Every dribble, as long as you can possess the ball, takes that time off the clock in a short game. Every time you get it deep in your opponent's territory, it takes them that much longer to get it back down to score on you. Poole's got it. He's got a little room. He tried to poke it up. Simley breaks it up. We're down to about 5.5 minutes now. Simley seems to have found a second life here a bit and is going to try to make something happen, but Ouellette takes it, sends it up. Good passing here. Packard to McKenzie, back to Packard. And the ball back to Parker Strumke, who clears it. Now down to 5 minutes about, a little over 5. Hometown Hudson Raiders up 1-0 over the visiting Simley Spartans. This has probably been one of the closest matches I've seen in Hudson high school soccer in a while for the boys. I've had close games, but this is just a real competitive and nice game. Fun one to watch from a soccer perspective. Allenoff nicely shields that ball and lets it get out. It'll be a Raiders corner or goal kick. Simley bringing that ball right where they want it because they want to speed things up. Raiders push it. Going to be a throw-in for the Raiders. Now down to 4 minutes. Simley goes for a big clear, but kind of shanks that one out of bounds. Or maybe not. Maybe there was a substitution. It's awfully hard to see the angle of the ball on this screen because this is a recording that I'm recording the voiceover over. Late chip to the corner for the Raiders, trying to set something up. Raiders continue fighting to the end, too. They know what can happen in 3 minutes. They're going to keep fighting. Goal kick here for Simley. They're going to drill it. The big ball.
Go now. Hey.
A little push off, not appreciated by McKenzie, and he kicks it, and the ref gives him a warning to stops the clock. As you can see, that wouldn't normally happen, but McKenzie kicking that ball a little further is a little unsportsmanlike, and he's getting a little talking to by the referee to not do that. I know McKenzie, he took a shove from behind that wasn't necessary either, so that was a little frustration. There's worse things he could have done there. No crime, no foul, but if he does it again, you can bet he'll get carded. Poole with a big clear. Right now, the Raiders are content with just getting it out. I don't care how far ahead that ball gets. Owen Netterlow always ends up on it. He has got a gas pedal that always puts him on the ball when he wants to. Just under 2.5 minutes. Quick turn by Lassard, who's settling it, and fights it out, gets the corner kick. 2 minutes left. Raiders with the corner. See if they can add to the 1-goal lead, or will it stay there? We'll see what happens. Simley still got time. 2 minutes. I've seen multiple goals in the last 2 minutes of a match. Raiders play it short to kill clock, but Simley sniffed it out and sent 3 guys right on it, and they take the ball. But again, now they got to work it all the way up the field, which takes time. Little collision, not sure it was a foul. Parents are screaming for it, might be right, but I don't think it was foul-worthy. McKenzie with some pressure here. And that ball gets out of bounds, just spins off his foot, unfortunately. Now down to about 1 minute and 20 seconds. McKenzie with the throw. Ball gets out. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Trip from behind. I think it was more like feet got tangled, but you're going to get that call. I don't think that was a trip like the other one we saw from behind. But Raiders get the kick, and that's going to allow them to take a good 25 seconds off the clock, because you get the time to get the ball, get it set, cue it up, take the kick. Now down to 40 seconds. This is looking good for our Raiders. Another foul on Simley. This will probably be close to the end of the match here. Raiders will get a free kick here. And they'll take it seriously because they'd love to put a score on the board. 20 seconds. So Simley's goal now is just not to let this get past 1 goal. It's not going to be much time after this. Raiders play it short, trying to kill the clock.
10,
not a bad play.
9, 8.
And that's going to do it, folks. That's a win for your Raiders. They're going to move to 4-0 with the 1-0 win over Simley. A great match. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you at future matches. Thank you again for tuning in.